Hello friends, welcome to RBI Insights. Today's our topic is RBI Act 1934, in which we will cover all the sections of RBI Act 1934 in detail. The PDF of this act is available on RBI's official website, or even if you just type RBI Act 1934 PDF on Google Chrome, you can get the PDF from there also. But still, I would recommend to download it from RBI's official website only, since this act undergoes various amendments, so it is better to download it from the RBI's official website only. Okay, so let's start with the topic. This act is divided into 5 chapters, so we'll cover all these chapters serially, starting with first chapter, preliminary. Section 1 of the act is short title, extent and commencement. Subsection 1 of section 1 states that this act may be called Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Subsection 2 of section 1 states that it extends to the whole of India. Then subsection 3, this section shall come into force at once, and the remaining provision of the act shall come into force on such date or dates as the central government may by notification in the Gazette of India appoint. The subsection 3 of the section 1 ensures that the central government retains the authority to add or amend provisions to any part of the act, even after it has come into effect. This amendment or addition is announced through an official notification published in the Gazette of India. Next, section 2 is definitions. In this section, the basic terms which are used in this act is given and its origin from where it has come. There is nothing to explain here, so I will just go through it once, since these terminologies will be used in upcoming sections. So all this which is written in the Roman letters A2, A3, Roman and alphabets, these are the clause. Okay, so section 2 is definitions, under which clause A2 is given. The bank means the Reserve Bank of India constituted by this act. So wherever the bank word will be used, it will be referred to the Reserve Bank of India, means it will be called as the Reserve Bank of India wherever the bank word will be used in this section, in this act. Next clause is A3, Bank for International Settlements, means the body corporate established with the said name under the law of Switzerland in pursuance of an agreement dated 20th January 1930, signed at The Hague. This is we also call this as BIS, Bank for International Settlements. Next clause A4, banknote, means a banknote issued by the bank whether in physical or digital form under section 22. So wherever the banknote term will become, so it will be the banknote issued by the bank, means issued by the Reserve Bank of India. Then clause B, the central board, means the central board of directors of the bank. Next clause B5A, consumer price index, means the consumer price index published by the government of India from time to time. Next clause is B6, Deposit Insurance Corporation, means the Deposit Insurance Corporation established under section 3 of Deposit Insurance Corporation Act 1961. We also call this as DICGC. This is the same. Next is Exim Bank. This is clause B8A. Exim Bank means Export Import Bank of India, established under the Export Import Bank of India Act 1981. Next clause is B9, foreign currency. Foreign currency and foreign exchange have the meanings respectively assigned to them in Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1973. Then clause C, Industrial Finance Corporation means the Industrial Finance Corporation of India established under the Industrial Finance Corporation Act 1948. Then the next clause is C1, the term inflation. Inflation means the year-wise change in monthly consumer price index expressed in terms of percentage. Inflation target means the inflation target determined in accordance with subsection 1 of section 45ZA. This is defined in inflation target word is defined in subsection 1 of section 45ZA of RBI Act 1934. So when we will cover the section 45ZA, then in that the inflation target will be covered. The next clause under section 2 is clause CA, International Development Association. Means the association referred to in the International Development Association Status, Immunities and Privilege Act 1960. International Finance Corporation means corporation referred to in the International Finance Corporation Act 1958. Next clause is CC, International Monetary Fund and International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, mean respectively International Fund and the International Bank referred to in the International Monetary Fund and Bank Act 1945. Next clause is CC1, Monetary Policy Committee, means committee constituted under subsection 1 of section 45ZB. So this will be covered in section 45ZB also. Next is clause CCC, National Bank, means the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development established under section 3 of National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development Act 1981. That is NABARD. This is talking about NABARD. Okay, the next clause is CCC1, National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, means the institution established under section 3 of the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Act 2021. Then CCC2, other development financial institutions, mean a development financial institution licensed under section 29 of the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Act 2021. So in our act there will be term like other development financial institutions. So you have to remember that this other financial institution refers to the one that has been given license under section 29 of the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Act 2021. Next clause is CCCC, 4 times C, National Housing Bank, NHB, means the National Housing Bank established under section 3 of the National Housing Bank Act 1987. Next is CCCC1, Policy Rate, means the rate for repo transaction under subsection 12AB of section 17. So its definition is given in subsection 12AB of section 17 of RBI Act 1934. So we will cover this when we will study section 17. Next clause is C5, Reconstruction Bank, means Industrial Reconstruction Bank of India established under section 3 of the Industrial Reconstruction Bank of India Act 1984. Clause D, Rupee coin, means rupees which are legal tender in India under the provision of the Coinage Act 2011. Clause E of section 2 is scheduled bank, means a bank included in second schedule. Next clause is EA, sponsor bank, means a sponsor bank as defined in the Regional Rural Bank Act 1976. You might be knowing that Regional Rural Bank is funded by sponsor bank also, and state government and sponsor bank along with central government. So that sponsor bank means sponsor bank as defined in the Regional Rural Bank Act 1976. The next clause is EB. State Bank means the State Bank of India constituted under the State Bank of India Act 1955. Next clause EL. Small Industries Bank means Small Industries Development Bank of India established under Section 3 of the Small Industries Development Bank of India Act 1981. This we called as SIDB also in short. Next clause is F1. State Financial Corporation means any state financial corporation established under the State Financial Corporation Act 1951. Next clause is clause G. Unit Trust means the Unit Trust of India established under Section 3 of the Unit Trust of India Act 1963. Next clause is H. Agricultural Operations. Central Cooperative Bank, Cooperative Society, Crops, Marketing of Crops, Pisciculture, Regional Rural Bank and State Cooperative Bank shall have the meanings respectively assigned to them in the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development Act 1981, NABARD Act 1981. In this act, whatever definition is given to these terms, it will be the same when definition. Next is clause I. Cooperative Bank. Cooperative Bank, Cooperative Credit Society, Director, Primary Agricultural Credit Society, Primary Cooperative Bank and Primary Credit Society shall have the meanings respectively assigned to them in Part 5 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So whatever the meanings it has been assigned in Part 5 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So this was section 2 of chapter 1. So now let's start with chapter 2. Incorporation, Capital, Management and Business. So section 3 of chapter 2 states that establishment and incorporation of Reserve Bank. Under this subsection 1, a bank to be called the Reserve Bank of India shall be constituted by the purposes of taking over the management of the currency from the central government and of carrying on the business of banking in accordance with the provision of this act. So before establishment of the RBI, the currency management used to be carried out by the central government. So after the introduction of this act, it has been taken over by the Reserve Bank of India. And here Reserve Bank of India has to carry out other business of banking as given in this act. Then subsection 2 of section 3. The bank shall be a body corporate by the name of the Reserve Bank of India, having perpetual succession and a common seal, and shall be said the name and shall by the said name sue and be sued. This subsection establishes RBI as a legal entity with the perpetual succession and a common seal. It means that it will continue to exist indefinitely even if its members or directors change over time. And it will have an official seal which it will use to authenticate documents. And as body corporate, the RBI can sue and be sued, allowing it to initiate and defend legal actions in its own name. So somebody wants to file a case against RBI, so it will not be filed against the name of the governor or any director or member of the RBI. It will be filed against the name of the institution only, by the name of Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Next section is capital of the bank. The capital of the bank shall be 5 crore of rupees. Section 5, increase and reduction of share capital. The provision has been repealed or removed by the enactment of 62nd Act of 1948 with effect from January 1, 1949. That is, at the time of establishment of the RBI, it was a privately owned institution with private as well as public shareholding, but it was fully owned by Government of India since its nationalization on January 1, 1949. So these provisions were removed. Next section is section 6. Offices, branches and agencies. The bank shall, as soon as may be, establish offices in Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi and Madras, and may establish branches or agencies in any other place in India or with the previous sanction of central government elsewhere. So at first there were only 4 offices of the Reserve Bank of India: Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi and Madras, at these 4 places. And under this act, under this section, they have the provision to establish branches or agencies in other places of India. And now there are total 33 offices in India. Next section is section 7, management. The central government may from time to time give such directions to the bank as it may, after consultation with the governor of the bank, consider necessary in the public interest. This section empowers the central government to issue directions to the bank as and when it deems necessary for the public interest. And these directions are typically issued after the consultation with the governor of the bank. That is, after consulting the governor only this direction will be issued. Next subsection is, subject to any such directions, the general superintendence and direction of the affairs and business of the bank shall be entrusted to a central board of directors, which may exercise all powers and do all acts and things which may be exercised or done by the bank. So this subsection emphasizes the role of central board of directors as the primary body responsible for overseeing and directing the RBI's affairs and business. That is, the overall supervision and control of the RBI's affairs and business are entrusted to central board of directors. This board has the power to exercise all the functions of the RBI subject to any directions issued by the central government. Section 3. The subsection 3 and subsection 2 both are almost the same. If you see in subsection 3, it is from here, shall also have the power of general superintendence and direction of the affairs and the business of the bank, and may exercise all power and do all acts and things which may be exercised or done by the bank. This and this is the same. It's just that in subsection 2 the central board has directly been given the power of the power as the primary body responsible for overseeing and directing the RBI's affairs and business. But since this central board of directors cannot give its all time to the function to look after the function of the bank, so if they in their regulation appoint a governor or deputy governor on behalf of governor in his absence, so they can also perform the same duties. That is, they can also have the same rights which the central board has. Next is section 8. Composition of the central board and term of office of directors. Under section 8, subsection 1, the central board shall consist of the following directors, namely 1 governor and not more than 4 deputy governor to be appointed by central government, 4 directors to be nominated by central government one from each of the 4 local boards as constituted by section 9. So as per clause A, one governor and 4, not more than 4 deputy governors, so total 5. Then as per clause B, 4 directors to be nominated by central government, one from each 4 local boards. There are 4 local boards, so from each local board one director will be nominated, so total 4. Then 10 directors to be nominated by central government, so total is 10, and the 2 government officials to be nominated by central government. So if you calculate this total, it comes around to 21. So total 21 directors will be there in the central board. Okay, next is subsection 2 of section 8. The governor and deputy governor shall devote their whole time to the affairs of the bank and shall receive such salaries and allowances as may be determined by central board with the approval of central government, provided that the central board may, if in its opinion it is necessary in the public interest so to do, permit the governor or a deputy governor to undertake at the request of the central government or any state government such part-time honorary work, whether related to the purposes of this act or not, as it is likely to interfere with his duties or as governor or deputy governor as the case may be. So the governor and deputy governor has to devote their whole time to the affairs of the bank, that is to the business, whatever is going in the bank. Governor and deputy governors shall devote their full time to the affairs of the bank, and they will receive such salaries and allowances for the work they are doing, and this will be determined by the central board. Central board will determine how much salary and allowances to be given to the governor and deputy governor with the approval of central government. And one provision is also there that they can also do any part-time honorary work that has been requested by the central government or by any state government. If they said that sometimes central government or a state government have any foreign dignitaries in dignitaries of finance department, then on such occasion the governor can be called, and he can also join such meetings which will be called as the part-time honorary work, provided further that the central government may, in consultation with the bank, appoint a deputy governor as the chairman of the national bank on such terms and conditions as the government may specify. So the deputy governor can be appointed as the chairman of the national bank. Here the term the national bank means the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. We have seen this in definitions in section 2. So this will be, so he can be appointed as the chairman of the national bank, that is NABARD. Next is subsection 3. A deputy governor and the governor nominated under clause D of section 1 of subsection 1 may attend any meeting of the central board and take part in its deliberation, but shall not be entitled to vote. So the deputy governor and the director nominated under clause D. So there are 4 deputy governor and who are nominated under clause D. So these 2 government officials to be nominated by the central government. So these 2 and the 4 deputy governor among 21, these 6 people cannot vote in any of the meetings. They can attend the meeting, but they are not entitled to vote. provided that when governor is for any reason unable to attend any such meeting, a deputy governor authorized by him in this behalf in writing may vote for him at that meeting. So if governor is unable to attend any meeting, so the deputy governor which he has been nominated for on this behalf, he can vote on behalf of the governor in such meetings. Next subsection is subsection 4. The governor and deputy governor shall hold office for such term not exceeding 5 years as the central government may fix when appointing them, and shall be eligible for reappointment. So the governor and deputy governor, their term of office is 5 years and they can be reappointed. A director nominated under clause C of subsection 1 shall hold office for a period of 4 years and shall be eligible for reappointment. Now, director nominated under clause C. Who is nominated under clause C? The 10 directors to be nominated by central government. So, these 10 directors were nominated by the central government. So, their tenure will be for 4 years and shall be eligible for reappointment, provided that such director shall not be appointed for more than 2 terms, that is for maximum period of 8 years, either continuous or intermittently. So maximum they can work for two terms and for maximum period of 8 years. Either this term can be continuous, means if one has if the term has been expired in 2022, then he can 22 or say 24, then he or she can be appointed again for the next term starting from the same. Or if there is a gap in between, he or she can also be appointed for the second term. Say if there is a gap of 2 years, then after 2 years if he or she is appointed, then it is also eligible. The director nominated under clause D of subsection 1 shall hold office during the pleasure of government, central government. So who is this directors? These 2 government officials to be nominated by the central government. So these 2 officials, they can hold office during the pleasure of the central government. So when central government wants them to come back to their other official duties, they can be called from as the director of the central board. So we have seen that governor and deputy governor, they can hold office for 5 years and they can be reappointed. Then the next are the 4 directors to be nominated by central government. They can be nominated, no such tenure of them, their tenure has not been mentioned yet. Then the 10 directors to be nominated, they can be their tenure will be for 4 years and they can be nominated for maximum of 2 times and for maximum of 8 years. And the other 2 government officials, their tenure can be decided upon by the pleasure of the central government. If they want, they can send another 2 or another officers in place of them. Then subsection 5. No act or proceeding of the bank shall be questioned on the ground merely of the existence of any vacancy in or any defect in the constitution of the board. So any decision made by the board of RBI cannot be questioned solely upon the administrative or the procedural issues. Sometimes someone can find any flaws in the act. So no act or proceedings of the board shall be questioned on the existence of any vacancy. So nobody can question about their recruitment. Then 6th has been omitted. 7th, a retiring director shall be eligible for renomination. Okay. Next section is section 9, local board, their constitution and function. Local boards we have seen here in section 8 subsection 1, 4 directors to be nominated by central government, one from each of the 4 local boards. So this now in next section we will talk about in section 9 local board, their constitution and functions. So subsection 1, a local board shall be constituted for each of the 4 areas specified in the first schedule and shall consist of 5 members to be appointed by central government to represent, as far as possible, territorial and economic interest and the interests of cooperative and indigenous bank. So total 4 areas has been specified in the first schedule for local board. So 4 local boards are there and each shall consist of 5 members to be appointed by the central government. Then subsection 2, the member of the local board shall elect from amongst themselves one person to be the chairman of the board. So among the 5, one can be elected as the chairman of the board. Every member of a local board shall hold office for a term of 4 years and shall be eligible for reappointment, provided that any such director shall not be appointed for more than 2 terms, that is for a maximum period of 8 years either continuously or intermittently. Same as we have seen in above, the 10 directors which were nominated, for them also the same terms were issued. That is, this local board members shall hold office for term of 4 years and are eligible for reappointment and can be appointed for maximum period of 8 years. Advice. Next subsection is 4th, a local board shall advise central board on such matters as may be generally or specifically referred to it and shall perform such duties as the central board may delegate to it. So central board will delegate certain duties to local board. They have to work on it and has to advise central board upon it. Next section, section 10, disqualification of directors and member of local board. Till now we have seen the appointment of the director. Now in section 10, disqualification of director and member of local board. Under this subsection 1, no person may be a director or a member of local board who cannot be director is a salaried government official, cannot be the director of the local board. We are talking about the local board, member of local board. So a salaried government official cannot be a member of local board, or is or at any time has been adjudicated an insolvent or has suspended payment or has compounded his creditor. So if someone who has been adjudicated as insolvent, that is who has been declared as bankrupt, or who has suspended payment, that is somebody has taken loan, if anyone has taken loan and is unable to pay and has compounded with his creditor, that is if he or she is unable to repay the payment and he has compounded, means he has negotiated with the creditors to reach an agreement or of repayment of dues. So such people cannot be appointed as the member of the local board. Then clause C, is found lunatic or becomes of unsound mind. If the person is lunatic or becomes unsound mind, he or she cannot be the member of the local board. Is an officer or employee of any bank. So bank employee or an officer cannot be the member of local board. Is a director of a banking company within the meaning of clause C of section 5 of the Banking Regulation Act or of cooperative banks. So any director cannot be the member of the local board. Subsection 2. No two persons who are partners of the same mercantile firm or are director of same private company, or one of whom is a general agent of or holds a power of procuration from the other, or from a mercantile firm of which the other is a partner, may be director or member of the same local board at the same time. So any two person, if they both are the partner of a same mercantile firm, then they cannot be the member of same local board at the same time. Or if they are the director of the same private company, still they cannot be the member of the local board. Then if one of whom is general agent or holds a power of procuration from the other, or from a mercantile firm, so these people cannot be the director or member of same local board at the same time. Then subsection 3. Nothing in clause A, clause D or clause E of subsection 1 shall apply to governor or deputy governor or to the director nominated under clause D or subsection 1 of section 8. So nothing in clause A, D or E. What are A? Salaried government employees. D. Officer or employee. A, D or E. So this cannot be applied for governor, deputy governor and the directors nominated under clause D. Those two government officials. So since they are the government officials, so this clause cannot be applied to them, and also to governor and deputy governor, since governor and deputy governor are salaried government officials. They are mostly the IAS, IPS officers only. Most probably they are nominated as the governor. So this clause cannot be implemented to them. Next is removal from and vacation of office. Section 11. Removal from and vacation of office. The central government may remove from office the governor or a deputy governor or any other director or any member of local board. Central government is the BAP. A director nominated under clause B or clause C of subsection 1 of section 8 shall cease to hold office if, without leave from the central board, he absents himself from 3 consecutive meetings of the board convened under subsection 1 of section 13. So the director nominated under clause B or clause C. So in clause B, the 4 directors from the local boards were nominated, and in clause C, the 10 directors were nominated by the central government. So they have to leave if they fails to attend 3 consecutive meetings, then they have to cease to hold office. They have to give their resignation. They will be removed. The central government shall remove from office any director, and central board shall remove from office any member of local board, if such director or member becomes subject to any of the disqualifications specified in subsection 1 or subsection 2 of section 10. So subsection 1 and subsection 2 of section 10, this is a salaried government employee and all, and in subsection 2, any two person cannot be the director of same local board. So the central government can remove from office any director from central board. The central government shall remove from office any director, and central board shall remove from office any member of local board. Okay, so if the local board member has to be removed, then central board can remove it, and if any director has to be removed, from the central board of directors. If any of the director has to be removed, then the power is entrusted with the central government. Next is subsection 4 of section 11. A director or member of local board removed or ceasing to hold office under the foregoing subsection shall not be eligible for reappointment either as director or as member of local board until the expiry of the term for which his appointment was made. If the director or the member of local board has been removed, then he cannot be reappointed before the expiry of his term. So if his term is for so his remaining term is suppose for 2 years is remaining, and he has been removed as a director or as a member. So in these 2 years he or she cannot be reappointed. After the completion of the term only the reappointment can be possible. Next is subsection 5. The nomination as director or member of local board of any person who is a member of parliament or legislature of any state shall be void unless within 2 months of his date of his nomination he ceases to be such member. So if someone is member of parliament or the legislature of any state and he has been nominated as the director, then he or she will have to give resignation for that post within 2 months from the date of the nomination. And if any director or member of local board is elected or nominated as member of parliament or any such legislature, then he shall cease to be a director or member of the local board as from the date of such selection. So if current director or any member of local board has been elected as the member of parliament or any such legislature, then as soon as he has been appointed there, he has to give resignation from their post as director and member of local board. Subsection 6. A director may resign his office to central government and a member of local board may resign his office to the central board, and on the acceptance of the resignation the office shall become vacant. Okay. Next section is section 12, casual vacancies and absences. If the governor or a deputy governor by infirmity or otherwise is rendered incapable of executing his duty or is absent on leave or otherwise in circumstances not involving the vacation of his appointment, the central government may, after considering the recommendations made by the central board in this behalf, appoint another person to officiate for him, and such person may, notwithstanding anything contained in clause D of subsection 1 of section 10, be an officer of the bank. So if governor or a deputy governor is found is absent on leave or otherwise in circumstances not involving the vacation of his appointment. So in his appointment letter, if it is given that he cannot be absent for this task, so if he found unavailable, then central government may, after considering the recommendations made by central board in this behalf, can appoint a person to officiate for him. In place of the governor or deputy governor, a person can be officiated, and such person may, notwithstanding anything contained in clause D of subsection 1, be an officer of the bank. He can be an officer of the bank without, so the clause D of subsection 1 of section 10 will not be applied here for this appointment. Where any casual vacancy in the office of any member of local board occurs, the central board may nominate thereto any person recommended by the other member of the local board. So if anyone is found, if any vacancy is created, then these other central board members can recommend for the fulfillment of that vacancy. Where any casual vacancy occurs in the office of a director other than the vacancies provided for in subsection 1, the vacancy shall be filled by the central board. A person nominated under this section to fill a casual vacancy shall hold office for the unexpired portion of the term of his predecessor. So, in place of whom he is appointed, if his tenure is remaining for 2 years, then the nominated person tenure will also be considered for 2 years only. Next, section 13, meetings of the central board. Meetings of the central board shall be convened by the governor at least 6 times in each year and at least once in each quarter. So central board has to be, their meeting has to be convened by the governor at least 6 times in a year and at least once in each quarter. Any 4 directors may require the governor to convene a meeting of the central board at any time of the, and the governor shall forthwith convene a meeting accordingly. The governor, or if for any reason he is unable to attend, the deputy governor authorized by the governor shall, under the proviso of subsection 3 of section 8, to vote for him, shall preside at the meeting of the central board, and in the event of an equality of votes shall have a second or casting vote. So as we know that in the meeting of the central board, 6 people are not allowed to cast vote. Who are these 6? The 2 from the appointed by the central government from the government officials, they are the government officials, and the 4 deputy governor are also not they cannot also vote. So in absence of governor, a deputy governor who has been authorized by him can cast vote on his behalf and will have the casting vote in case of an equality of votes. Okay. Next, 14 to 16 section, general meetings, first constitution of the central board, first constitution of local board. So all this has been repealed. Okay. So next is section 17, business which bank may transact. So I think we will cover this section in next part, because this section is very long and I think it is around 15 to 20 pages. So in next part we will continue from section 17. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you, friends.